Hey everyone, welcome back to the Music Matters in That podcast. I'm your host, Brian. And today I welcome a special guest. We got Joe from Freaky Things. From Freaky
Hey
Land, actually.
everyone, how you doing from Freaky Land?
I was getting ready to say that too, but that's all good. All right. How you been recently? What's up, Joe?
Oh, little bit of everything. We've had a pretty good couple weeks here. First of all, I don't know if you heard the ISA, International Singer Songwriters Association. We were one of the finalists for Album of the Year for Tales of the Lovesick Sleepwalker. So we're excited. We're going to head to Atlanta in August.
That's pretty cool. I'm going to say, well, that explains the background right there. So.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to toot your horn in some sort of way too, so I can see why. That's pretty sweet. And I guess, how do you sign up for that too? Is it something you have to do through online, or I guess how'd you find out about it?
Yeah, somebody contacted me. I can't remember who it was. And they go, "You guys ought to enter this. I think it'd be, up there. I think it'd be good for you." And yeah, it's a self ballot kind of thing. You just go sign up for what you think. There's many categories, but yeah, we signed up for a few. And we got one of them. I'll take that. Take the one. Pretty excited.
We only need one.
I only need one.
We only need one. Or it's almost like the Highlander. There can only be one.
Only be one.
Yes, that's very good. Also, I was noticing your chair too. Is that a new gamer chair you got, or is that one you've been rolling with for a while?
Yeah, I've been rolling with this for a while. I actually got it for work because I work a lot, from home when I'm not doing the freaky stuff. So I got a real job, right? So I have to be comfortable.
Sadly, we need a real job too, but thought we got a nice shout out too.
I don't want it. Yeah, nice. Same thing, right?
I don't know. This one's a
pretty close.
GT player. Apparently, is the logo.
So yeah, the GT rate. Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. Actually, I've been rolling with this a couple of interviews here too, but it's best to give a shout out right now too.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what happens. So that's all good to hear too. So, but Joe, I want to welcome you to my podcast right here. And the way it's going to work is I'm going to ask you some questions. Let's get to know you more, both as the musician, but also as the individual as well too. So, you all ready?
I'm ready. Let's roll.
All right. But first off, I guess, so which part of the world are you hailing from?
So I'm in Kansas City. The other part of the freaky things is Chucky Arlen, and he's in Nashville. So there's really only two of us right now, and hopefully that's going to get ready to change pretty quick. So.
All right, I got to elaborate on the music here in just a second, but first let's start off with you. So I guess tell us a little about yourself. I guess how'd you become a musician?
Oh, early on. Me and Chucky actually were in a band way back in the beginning when we were young, way much younger than we are now, right? That's kind of how we met. And, we were in different bands after that. But that's kind of where Freaky Things came into play. But, man, our influences, we have a lot of influences, the same. But we've always been music just speaks to us, it's our world. Just love music in general. Any kind of genre, just throw it at me. I'll play it.
I guess was it one of your parents that kind of introduced you to music? They kind of showed you some classic rock back in the day.
Yeah, Elvis was the big one. When I first heard Elvis, I think that was my first couple albums that I got. I'm kind of dating myself here, but it went from Elvis to Kiss like really quick. I think I'm like really big into the theatrics, I remember, Elvis with the sequence and, that crazy part of Elvis, the 70s Elvis. But Kiss came out, blew my mind. I mean, that's who I wanted to be for a long time. Then it went into harder rock and hell, even disco. I love the disco era. I couldn't say that then, but I love it to this day.
Yeah, back then people were throwing the disco balls. I forget where it was. I think it was L.A. Throwing disco balls, and disco sucks.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my gosh, dude, that was like, you do not want to be a disco guy. And
No. You didn't want to admit it then, for sure.
Be like, okay, I'm just gonna keep this down in my man cave right here, or be like Dexter's Laboratory too. You just have to use like a little biometric scanner and get into it. I can see why. Actually, I remember mine was more Van Halen. I remember just dancing the hell out of Van Halen.
Oh yeah.
So, actually, my dad had those little cassette tapes, but I guess between Van Hagar and Van Roth, which one would you say is the best?
I really like both. I love the difference between them. David Lee Roth of that era was the ultimate frontman. That there's the singer debate, right? Was he a great singer? I don't care. He was fantastic at a show, pulled off. I mean, it sounded great. And then when they switched to Hagar, it was just a whole different vibe. The music changed, so I have ultimate respect for both of them.
Yeah, the same way. Though I would say, I think I always enjoyed Raw because of his theatrics he would do on stage too.
It was nuts. His concert, if you ever saw it, it was nuts.
I'm kind of jealous of my dad because I think it was after they had married my mom and they went to go see a Van Halen concert. Oh, yeah. And what was originally, because I'm from Pittsburgh, it was originally the Mellon Arena. They since teared that down. It's now the PBG Paint Can, as we like to call it too. So, tragically losing Eddie Van Halen, that was kind of a bummer. I really did want to see Van Halen.
Yeah, that would have been great because I think they were talking about doing something again. But it is what it is. We still got the music, right? Still could listen to Van Halen anytime we want to.
That's for sure. Actually, the place I work at right now, one guy puts on a classic rock. I want to say playlist. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So you get a little Van Halen here and there too. So
nice.
I guess let's go ahead and jump into freaky things. I guess first off, who came up with the name?
Well, I think it was me. It was really one of our songs we wrote. One of the songs we wrote off Tales was a Freak Show. That was the name of it. We were trying to come up with names at that point because we have part of this project is like two different sections of it. We'll get into that later, but our regular rock, just our fun rock, anthem type throwback sound was Freak Show. And I was trying to come up with a name through this whole process to like define what we are, I just never felt right. I was like, I can't do anything without a name. It was something that would just speak to me, and then that I started Googling freaky, whatever kind of freak stuff and freaky things. I Googled that one. I'm like, holy crap, nobody's using that. I was like, oh my God. I mean, I was like, man, I was like, I called Chuck and I was like, what do you think about this? He's like, it says freaky in it. That's perfect, and that's kind of and that's where it kind of just went from there. It's like, we can do anything we want now and get away with it. That's the way we look at it.
I would say I do remember watching Dragon Ball Z way back in the day, and there was one of the characters named Vegeta. I guess he was watching this one battle happen, and I guess the scenery around him changed. He just goes, freaky.
Yeah.
It's always been a catch line for me too. Whenever something weird happens, I just go freaky.
Yeah. We have a lot of fun with it too. It may, it's kind of took off, since we, launched about a year ago. But the name is kind of, it's just fun. It's a fun name. You can play around with it a lot. Everybody calls me Freaky online. I'm the guy that runs everything, right? So everybody just knows me as Freaky. So I'm good with that.
So we can't refer to the fan base as freaks, though, can we?
Yeah. They may want to be one. That's actually what the song says. Who's a freak? Are you a freak just like me? So go with that.
I'd say it's either that or the same song. It's like the song Outside, for instance, too, because inside you're ugly. You're ugly like me.
Yeah. Right.
Do it. Actually, how'd you and Chucky meet? Because I know you said you guys were in Nashville. I guess what's the story behind it?
Yeah, so he used to live in Kansas City for a long time. And we met 16 or 17 when we were 16 or 17. That's when we got into our original band at that point. And I've known Chucky all my life. All those guys at that time they're still our best friend. I mean, we're all still best friends. We get together once a year, also celebrate our, that was called White Lies, at that time. So we still celebrate that once a year. We do a little basement reunion show, every year. We have a great time with it. But yeah, that's, then we went into all different bands. He went in his different bands. I went into a different band, and, we caught up way later when we started this whole reunion thing with the old band. And me and him started writing songs for White Lies again. And it just kind of morphed after that. We were really into it. Me and him were just really, really into it. At that time, he was already back in Nashville. But that's kind of how Freaky began. We started writing things that were just way outside of that original band. And that's kind of where Freaky Things was born.
That's a pretty cool story. And I guess does he live currently still in Nashville, or is he like out in the suburbs?
Suburbs. Murfreesboro, I think, somewhere around there. But yeah, I think I'm hoping that they may come back. So that's where the exciting part is for all of us. So then we can pull it off live.
Yeah. Plus, you also get to celebrate a Super Bowl championship this year.
Oh yeah. Now, they're huge Chiefs fans now. She will. His wife, Christy, the biggest fan I know. When we win those Super Bowls, she'll put it on video how exciting she is. It's amazing to see their family. They're all Chiefs fans. Yeah, we have it good right now.
You remember my new Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes?
Oh yeah. Taylor Swift. We got it all here.
Oh please, no, to start with that again. I've been hearing it too much.
Let's go.
I mean, at this point, we're just kind of making fun of conservatives at this point too.
Right.
Hey, she's banging the highest rated tight end there is right there too. So I mean, you all jealous? So
yeah,
what's you gotta say? Actually, I would say I did have Travis Kelce in my fantasy the one year. Always helped out too. So
he's always great.
And that was because I also had Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs. I actually got Justin Jefferson. That was when he was a rookie. Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I'm in a keeper league, one of my leagues. And so if you draft somebody like Justin Jefferson, at a high, you get to keep him for multiple years. So that's it. And somebody got Patrick Mahomes like late in the round, had him for like 5 years. So that was a killer to all of us.
Now ours is always a continuous draft. Like you can still get like the big
redraft. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. But it's still fun nonetheless. Actually, I got $100 for my recent one this year too.
I won too.
Did you?
Yep.
Actually, I think I came in third, but I think it was because I had more points. I don't know if that's how it worked too, but
yeah,
it was something like that. But I got $100. That's all that matters.
Yeah, so. Love fantasy football. It's fun.
That's for sure too. And I know you mentioned about influences earlier with mainly Kiss. I guess who else kind of inspired you? Because I'm seeing a little bit of a Kid Rock sort of look.
Yeah, but probably not him. It was more like I said, the theatric. I love the theatric thing. So me and Chucky kind of agree on. Kiss is a big one. Def Leppard, we both love Def Leppard. You could hear some of that in our stuff. Dio was a big one for both of us. Love the magic, the theatrics, and and then we go off on our own stuff. He likes a lot of what was that back in the 80s? The new wave type of sound. Duran was a big one. His influences are all over the place. That guy knows so much about music. And then my influences just kind of morphed into a little bit harder, a little bit heavier, just kept going heavier and heavier. But then I'll hear something beautiful come on the radio, just a pop artist, and I'll love it. I just love all types of music. And that's why I love our community, right? Because we got everything around here that you can ever want to listen to.
Yeah, that's for sure too. Actually, I'm pretty sure you're referring to band together, but we'll get to that in just a second here.
Yeah.
And was it more Black Diamond that kind of sold you a Kiss when they were rising the drums and doing the explosions?
Black Kiss? Diamond, the song?
Yeah, the song.
Oh, yeah. That's like one of my favorite songs of Kiss. Yeah, that one, the whole mystique. It was, they were like superheroes, especially when you're really young, when you're a really little kid. They were like superheroes that Spider-Man, Batman, Kiss. And I think that's, as kids, when you're really little and you got into that, they became those superheroes for you. And then the music itself, I know a lot of people bash Kiss, but I'm a deep dive guy. I'll go into all their albums and listen to, the tracks that you don't ever hear that they play. There's some good stuff, good writing, I think. So yeah, I just dug Kiss. And then Dio came along. I mean, I love Dio. Dio's like one of my all-time faves. Even when he went to Black Sabbath, replaced Ozzy, one of my favorite, two of my favorite Black Sabbath albums, Heaven and Hell, Mob Rules. That was a big time for me too.
That's for sure too. Always love it when Turn Up the Night comes on too. Just
oh God, I love that song. Yeah.
It's either that or I'll say actually the song Heaven and Hell, and then Neon Nights. That's right.
Neon Nights. Yeah. Yeah.
There's always like a little bit of like a Game of Thrones sort of style right there too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
yeah,
I miss the old guy. I really wish he stayed.
I know.
Actually, a friend of mine out of Greece, he was actually one of those tech guys. He actually met Dio and a good few other guys as well too, again because he knew about him. Also doing a whole lot of stuff in Bulgaria as well too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
They hear about that. So good man.
Absolutely great person.
Hey, rest in peace.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I guess let's go ahead and jump to the hard topic of COVID here first. So I guess how bad did COVID impact you personally, and then family, and then music wise?
It really didn't affect me too much. At first I think because I'm in IT. I was in IT at that time. So I think I was so busy getting everybody set up for home at that time that I didn't even think about what was going on. That was the personal side of it. And then, during the lockdowns and all that, I think I rediscovered, because I don't think I was playing much at that time at all. I don't think we were recording that much, but I think I went into a deep, let me learn something, I got guitars, I got bass, I got everything downstairs, let me do something with my time. So I think that was the big thing that, because we weren't playing out, we weren't really recording that much at that time, but that's kind of where I was with it.
That's good. I guess, were you okay? Did you have any brushes with COVID?
Yeah. I think I actually had it really early on. Cause we were at conferences. I remember, I was at conferences at that time, way before that. And then we started getting sick. I remember going to the doctor and, he goes, well, there's some weird flu going around. And this was January, I think. I mean, December maybe. Because I was really bad sick, and there was a sign. I remember when he shut the door, when the nurse shut the door, and there's a sign, and he said it said the same exact thing. Like, there's some weird bug going around, blah blah blah. Just gives you a bunch of information, stay hydrated, all that, I was like, okay, I'll hydrate when I get home on a 6-pack, But yeah, it was just a weird time, right? I mean, it was weird for everybody.
Yeah, that's for sure. I would say on a good note, it helped me work from home. So
yeah, it helped everybody. It really did. It changed the whole landscape of working for a lot of people.
I'd say good in the sense of work-wise, being able to work from home and then also spend time with the family. But I think it also eliminated that whole social interaction with other people, for instance.
Yeah, that's what I really missed. I didn't realize it until later on. I mean, when we were in that middle of that lockdown, I was like, man, I just haven't seen anybody. I just want to if I can see a friend right now, I just want to hug them. I just miss that interaction with people. So I really missed that part.
As I try to do hugs these days, I think people are going to think you're a little crazy, to be honest.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm a lover.
We try to do. Actually, you do strike me like you would be one of those hippies that would be make love, not war.
Yeah.
I guess, was Chucky also okay too? Do you have any problems?
Yeah, I think we were all the same way, I think we were all trying to figure it out because nobody knew what was happening, right? And especially during that time, I think, we all go through different mental stuff, I think we all do. So I think it was a little downtime for Chucky, but I think working on songs and all that kind of helped us get through it, because we tried to be strong for our families, right? But there's still mental stuff that we have to deal with all the time, just personally. So I think that was a big thing, working on music. It gave us a little high that we needed to, keep moving.
You just say a good high too. We don't want to be too high, to be honest.
Good. Well,
high as a kite. That's what we'll say.
High as a kite.
Let's see why I did there too. But in all seriousness, it's good to see you and Chucky are doing well there too. And blessings to you and your family as well.
Thank you.
And I would say, on a funny note, there was actually a family relative of mine who had worked in crisis management for this one corporation. So if something happened, like say natural disaster or anything political wise, those people can go back to work regardless, where they're probably stationed at, maybe at home or whatever too. And the joke was, the day you retire, is the day the world's going to go to shit.
Yeah, right.
So you can probably guess what happened. And she retired right in January of 2020.
Oh, no.
And then, actually, unfortunately, she accidentally busted her foot, too. So that was pretty much a double whammy, to be honest.
Oh, that'd be horrible. Yeah, I knew somebody that got hurt trying to get in because, it was chaos at that time. Yeah, it was horrible just to get, basic stuff that we take for granted every day.
Yeah. She's doing well right now, but we always do that little joke every now and again, too. And I like sharing it as well because it's always like, if you want to look for someone to blame, you can go ahead and blame her.
Yeah.
But we still love her as a thing, too. So it's all good. So I guess let's go ahead and jump to the gear you guys use here, too. So I guess how do you guys put the music together? Do you do your little stuff and then Chucky does his?
Yeah, I have a little studio downstairs where I do all my I'm mainly vocals, pretty much vocals. So kind of how we work that is I have my setup, recording mics. I think I use Reaper to record in. So basically I'm recording tracks and then exporting those as waves and sending those to Chucky. And Chucky takes care of everything. I mean, he mixes, he, masters, records guitars, he's the engineer. He's the brains of the operation. And we both write, but he's a main writer too. But he'll send me, tracks like, I don't know what to do with this, and I'll throw melody lines on it to help out. And then he'll go, let me go rewrite all that. That's kind of how we work it. It's a good little system.
I guess just for the audience sake, can you just list like who's part of the current lineup right now? Is it just strictly you and Chucky?
Strictly me and Chucky. Now we had on our Magic Songs Volume 1, that's the different side of Freaky Things that I mentioned earlier. I probably should get that out of the way now so everybody understands like when I say that. So one part of our project is based off Magic the Gathering cards. So what we did is we picked a card and wrote a song about it. So the title of that card was our song. We did that for our first EP. So we did 5 different cards, 5 different songs. So that's the Magic Songs Volume 1, which we're in the middle of Volume 2 right now. Why my voice is a little hoarse this morning. So when we move through, let me go back and what was that question again? Because I just lost train of thought.
It was more so about the gear too, but I guess it was more about the current lineup and I guess the roles that you and Chucky play.
Yeah. So pretty much the roles are kind of set between us. I know what I wanted to mention because now it just came back to me. So what we did on that one is we brought in a bassist on that one. So Victor Moran III played bass for us on that. So he's a good friend of Chucky's that's in the Magic the Gathering community that they play in. And he heard the stuff. He goes, man, I'd love to play bass on that. And Chucky was like, here, do it, Chucky will say he's not a great bass player. And I thought he put some good stuff to it. But Victor, Victor's a really accomplished bass player. So he put a lot of stuff to it. So that's one thing Chuck doesn't like to do is bass. And I think on another EP or a few other songs we did, our regular stuff, we brought in our old bass player from our old band, PJ Rutkin, and he did some bass work on that one too. So that's really it. I mean, we'll bring in outside people every once in a while until we establish a full band, but that's basically where we're at now. And gear-wise, what Chuck uses, he uses Logic to record on. He's got a very basic setup. His sound is phenomenal from his mixes, though. He's gotten so much better just over the years. I really, really notice it. Logic, he has a Gibson. I don't know all of his gear, but he keeps it really minimal, using a lot of plugins and all that for effects. But yeah, Logic is his big baby.
Yeah, I also roll with Logic too. That's why I gave the funds up.
Yeah.
Too. I don't know too much about the ins and outs, to be honest, but I at least know it helps with the drum covers and everything, doing MIDI.
Yeah.
So, actually, I've been thinking about it because I've been having my little mini keyboard just been sitting here collecting dust the whole time. So
yeah,
got to figure out what to do with it. So might try something down the road, but right now a little bit busy. So I'm going to try to at least make it work.
Right.
And the other thing too was I noticed in some of my interviews, people have been using Reaper a good bit as well. So I'm thinking that one's like really starting to creep up in the charts when people are like looking for a top 10 of like DAWs they want to look for instance.
Yeah, Reaper is a really good product. It has so many things that I don't even use. I mean, I just need it for vocals, pretty much. And I'll lay down some stuff, to give him on guitar or something like that. But it's a full, I mean, I know a lot of people that have some great recordings just using Reaper. It's a really great product.
Sorry, it does sound like it too. But I guess, did you say what your microphone was? Because I don't know if that's one of them right there.
I think I think I have a mid-level Audio Technica, recording mic, the dynamic, cardioid, whatever the terms are for that. It's a pretty beast of a mic. I think I'm getting ready to upgrade though. I think I'm gonna go. I feel like I want to go next level. Now that I know kind of what I'm doing in the. When I'm recording, I think I want to go next level. I actually got a buddy that works for Shure. So he's got some great mics. He goes, well, you can borrow it, test it out and see how it works and all that. So I think I may go that route next time.
Try to see if you can get an endorsement with Shure for your friend of yours right there. So
nice. Right. Yeah. Sure.
Rest assured. It's all good.
Yeah. Right.
Actually, I was asking about the one you're using for this interview right here, I guess. Which one's that?
The one I got here?
Yeah.
iFine? Yeah, it's just a basic mic I found off Amazon.
So it's almost like somebody you need to use for like a public service announcement. So
yeah.
That's
fine. Yeah. I don't know.
All right, that's cool. I guess, have you guys played any shows yet doing freaky things? Because I'm sure you did ones in the past with like a different group, but just freaky things in general.
No, not at all. But we may be doing something coming up. We're actually that's kind of a big thing. It just happened. We were talking about doing some stuff. There's a lot of people want us to play, so that's been pretty neat. I've had a lot of musicians like in the Kansas City area come up to me like, dude, I'd like to get on that. Just call me up if you need somebody, So musicians I know. So we're really looking at putting something together to do it. I mean, Chucky comes here all the time. He does a lot of family here. He's a professional photographer. So he does a lot of work here too. So we may be able to put something together by the end of the year. I think we're looking at.
I'm
excited about that.
I would say, yeah, I'd be excited about it too. Actually, when he comes over to your place, he's driving his bad motor scooter.
Yeah.
Little nod to Montrose. That one too.
Montrose.
Yeah. Shout out to Sammy Haggard. So
yeah.
See what. And actually, go back to COVID here a little bit too. How has the music scene been in just Kansas City? And I guess if you want to talk about Nashville too, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know much about Nashville, but Kansas City, it killed our scene here. Multiple bars, shut down. Didn't come back from it either. So the live venue market here, now let me go back. It's ramping back up slowly, but not as fast as what everybody wants, So it's really hard, like particular genre based, those are pretty much genre based, especially like hard rock, metal, kind of our area, our territory. Those have been, slowly creeping back in. I just heard about another one that may be reopening. So we're all crossing our fingers here. So we can get out and support those places. Cause that really sucked with COVID. Hit them hard.
I imagine. Actually, I know St. Louis tends to get a little bit of a bad rap too. I guess there's been some bad crime drama and that sort of stuff as well too. So
yeah,
hopefully stuff's turning around the corner. But St. Louis is close to where you guys are, right?
4 hours away.
4 hours. Yeah, not even close. Sorry.
Yeah. Depends on how fast you drive. Yeah, you can make it there in 3.5.
I can see. That's always a shame too, because from Pittsburgh here, I think it impacted in some way, but I guess not as bad as like other places, for instance, too. Because I know I was doing like an interview a while back with like one guy who was a studio manager for Mr. Smalls, and he was saying like it's still pretty diverse with like, you know, your rap, hip hop, you got metal, rock, and all those ones there too. So it didn't seem like Pittsburgh got hit as hard. Then as I keep doing these interviews, you keep hearing about people who tell about these stories, and it's like, man, did we just get lucky here, or is everyone here just not very good at trying to rebound? So I don't know.
Yeah, we've had also we have a lot of, we're going through a tribute band phase here. Big tribute band phase that kind of taking over the bar scene too. And they're making a lot of money, and they're filling the seats. So, you know, why would somebody want to bring in some, you know, no name hard rock band, you know, when they're making money? So that's another thing you got to look at. That's the politics of music, right? Bars want to make money. So stuff like that comes and goes. I mean, it is, you know, like any scene, right?
Sadly. But I guess there are a lot of bars, I guess the ones that are still open in your neck of the woods. Are they mainly looking for like how many streams you have, or are they pretty much looking for like how many people can you bring in?
No, there's there's usually promoters that'll hook you up, especially if you know people. Well, like, you know, we know a lot of people, so they'll definitely bring you in if you're ready to go. They'll look at streaming numbers and all that, but you know, there's a lot of out of town bands that come through. They'll hook up a local band on that, you know, that can bring in some people. But yeah, I mean, the promoters around here are really good about giving people chances. That's one good thing about our promoters around here.
That's great to hear. Obviously, when you hear the word promoter too, and I think you get hit with this too, get a lot of those scam promoters, for instance.
Yeah, gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Block all day long.
I'm gonna block you all day long.
Oh yeah, I'll make a song about that.
It's always like, we're gonna block that extra point.
Yeah.
So, it's really a shame too, because obviously you see it on Facebook too, and I guess we'll get to that in just a second. But it's always like, here, this is a nice little clip we just did of like totally trolling this scammer, for instance, who's trying to get our money. So yeah, kind of funny in a way. Even though they make it look like they're serious at first, and it's like, no, and it's like, go off yourself afterwards. That's pretty much the end message. I guess speaking of social media, I guess what social media are you guys on?
So probably the big one's Facebook. I'm kind of the guy that does all those, like I said earlier. So Facebook, I've jumped into Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Those are the main ones I think that we really are pretty active in. It's just impossible to keep up with all of them. I mean, I feel like I spend hours and hours, you know, outside of my normal, you know, day, just, you know, responding, sharing, you know, trying to share out other bands that I love, and, you know, be a good person about that. It's just hard to keep up with. I think we all feel that, and you go through that drain of it too. It's like, you know, especially when you share something out, you feel like, man, I'm not getting the love today, you know. Just release something, I just didn't get the love. I think a lot of us feel that, but there's so many things going on. You know, there's so many people that you're following, or they're following you, groups, all that. And I feel like you just kind of get lost in the shuffle every once in a while, but it is what it is. It all comes back. You know, it is, social media is a beast. Wish I had an assistant.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think they're all too swarmed with the politics these days, or the actual politics.
I don't like it. I mentioned somebody the other day. I was like, I don't even go on my personal page anymore. I barely ever hit that. I'll go on there every once in a while. I'll share something from Freaky Things on my personal. I'm going, hey, just let you guys know I'm over here. I'm not, you know, I'm still alive. I'm still doing stuff. You may not even know, but I'm over here. So good seeing y'all. So I just don't even go there hardly anymore, because that's where I get all the junk.
Yeah, I can see why too.
Yeah.
You know, I do go on it too, but mainly I get, fortunately, a lot of that stuff blocked out. I get like a whole lot of bands I'm like liking and also following as well. So,
yeah.
Okay. But I guess it's fine to jump into band together too, because I think, you and Drunk and Lonely are perhaps the more recognizable in the indie community here too. So I guess when did you join?
Ooh, I think so. Our first release was a couple days ago, about a year. Yeah, so we celebrated that 1 year release anniversary the other day on the 3rd. So yeah, I think I was active a little bit right before that. I started getting active. People telling me which groups were good. Just trying to get my name out there, our name out there. And that's kind of how it started. Then I found. So many groups to band together, was a big one. Box and Sticks are great in the community. There was just so many that, and it came fast and furious, once you get rolling in it, you start meeting people and, hooking up with the right people, that are good people. I mean, not just good musicians, but they're just fantastic people. And, I think that's another reason why I stay on the Freaky Things page, I met so many wonderful friends, and I consider some family now. It's just been pretty neat to meet all these people. Funny you say Drunk and Lonely. He's actually from Kansas City, too. We have never met in person. He lives like an hour away from here, about 45 minutes away from here. So we're going to fix that this summer. We'll get together.
We'll say, can we get a collab here? We get Drunk and Freaky, maybe?
Yeah, right. We always say that. Drunk and Freaky. Here it comes.
That'd be something. Like, how's he been recently? You guys try to stay in touch through maybe Messenger? Maybe
Messenger and stuff like that. Yeah, we'll he's been busy. Drew's been really busy with some a lot of collabs lately. So yeah, we'll message here and there, but catch each other online all the time. But yeah, we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna get. I think I'm gonna have a indie party or something, this summer, because I know a few people in the area now, just through Facebook, right? Never met them in person, but we'll make it happen this summer.
We can finally put a face to the name. So
yeah, definitely.
Let's make it happen. All right, let's make it happen.
We'll make it happen.
We'll see what happens. All right. I guess for the next one right here, in terms of like creating a song, for instance, do you normally create the lyrics and then do music, or vice versa?
Yeah, it's generally the music comes first for us. We'll have, it depends on which situation we're writing for, but Chucky will usually send me a riff. Basically, he's kind of got his structure down that he thinks it should be. I may mess up that whole structure. When I'm like, I'm hearing something different, I'll record something with a melody line or something, basic lyrics, kind of come up with a theme. Generally, I'll jump around. Sometimes I'll jump around and hit the chorus first because I want a big chorus, and then right around that. But yeah, that's pretty much how we go. I send that back to him. He goes, well, that's great. Now I got to rewrite it all. So he'll rewrite it to, But we'll do that sometimes, and then sometimes he'll send me a full song that he's wrote the lyrics to. I may make some changes here and there, but generally we work really, really well together. I don't think we've ever had an argument, ever, in the lifetime of me and Chucky. I don't think we've ever argued about anything. It's generally if he thinks something, I'll like, okay, Chuck, that's cool. We'll go with that. And if I really, 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 really want something, I'll beg. I'm not afraid to beg. It's like, I really want to keep that part. I know you may not like it right now, but I really, really, really want it. Can we please keep it? Can we please keep it? Like a little kid. Okay, I'll figure out a way to put it. That's just kind of how we work, though. We're like brothers that don't fight. It's kind of weird.
I thought you would have like a brotherly love sort of situation.
We do have a brotherly love, big time. The lyrics always come later. We'll generally have that theme with the melody, and then I'll go in and write lyrics, or he'll write lyrics or something like that, and we'll come up with something.
I guess speaking of which, what do your lyrics mostly delve into? Do you guys try to do like the Kiss style with like maybe making love and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, it depends on the situation. Like all the Magic songs are pretty easy because the name of the card is the theme. So like Hurl Through Hell is track number 1 off Magic Songs Volume 1. Think about hurl through hell. That's pretty easy to write through, So coming up with something around that card, those are really easy to have the title. Then we get into our fun rock, what we call our fun rock. Freak Show, Nightmare, Psycho Beast in Love. Some of it's just fun type of rock. Could be about girls. Could be about a situation. Could be about getting drunk. There's just so many different, things that we'll go through during a song. Could be all three at the same time. So.
Was like getting drunk while playing Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, right.
Actually, you're real big into like trading card games like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, those ones?
I'm not at all. So that's really not my thing. But Chucky and his son are really big in that whole, especially the Magic cards. But I'm not sure what other cards. They may be into some of that stuff too. I remember my son being in the Pokemon thing, like way back. That whole thing. Take him up the store, trade cards. I think he was in tournaments and all that when he was younger. So, but it was pretty neat. It's good spending time. It's good spending time with your son or daughter with something they really, really love and get into.
Yeah, that's for sure. Actually, I was trying to think of a word. Instead of bowling, we're going to call it carding. How about that?
Yeah.
Actually, I was real big into Yu-Gi-Oh! For a while, so I don't know if Chucky knows about it too much either. But
he probably does. He probably does.
As I tell him, I have a Crystal Beast deck, and I guess
all right.
see what he says afterwards there too. So we'll see what happens. Actually, I thought we'd be able to get a nice little conversation going there with that, but all right, it is what it is.
Yeah, the wrong guy. You picked the wrong guy to interview.
We had to pick the spokesperson.
Right.
I can see why. You got that one? Actually, I did forget to ask this. What advice would you give to musicians in band together, and I guess other musicians in general, maybe in your neck of the woods or even beyond?
Oh, that's easy because I'm wise in my ears. Don't give up. There's going to be down times, like when you're creating, when you're releasing, all that. Like I said earlier, if you're not getting the feedback, the response, and all that, don't let it hurt you, man. Just keep moving. Keep writing, keep producing, doing whatever you do in life, in general. So that's number one. Don't ever give up. And in our case, I think just from doing it so many years that we have a rule in Freaky Things. So we created a rule, and it's always have fun. If it's not fun, we're not doing it. So I think that's where me and Chucky get along so well, because we just want to have fun. That's why we did the project in the first place, is just to have fun. We didn't know it's going to go anywhere. We had no idea. So it was just for fun for us. And then it kind of, grew its legs, and here we are today. But that's the two big things, I think. Have fun doing what you're doing. Find the right people. There's going to be some people that, that are not on your same wavelength, and that's okay too. There are some real go-getters, when creating music or, whatever, but not everybody is going to be on that same wavelength as you. It's always good to have those kind of people, but you're not always going to find them. So try not to be too picky in that situation.
Try to find like a good balance.
Find the balance. You need people to balance you out.
I was trying to also think of a term too involving freaky too, is be like, get down and freaky.
Yeah, get all freaky.
Yeah. So that's good advice there too. And I think you also mentioned about challenges as well earlier too, because obviously you guys are in two different cities.
Yeah.
Good bit of distance between you two, but I guess, is that probably your biggest challenge? Or I guess what other sort of challenges do you face in general, maybe in finance or marketing?
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest challenge, is being in two different cities, especially if we want to play live like we've been talking about. So that's the big challenge right now. Other than that, I don't think we came into this expecting to make money. Like I said, we came in to have fun. So, but then you get into like, well, if we start playing live, we're going to need merch. Yeah, we're going to need to bring merch in, So then you start thinking about all that cost and all that. But, I don't really worry about that. I think if it happens, it happens, and I'll figure it out. It's kind of what I do on this side of freaky things. I'll figure it out.
We improvise.
That's how we got to roll.
Indie musicians, remember? We improvise.
Yeah, definitely.
I can see why. Yeah. Normally, I think most people would say the finance side of it too, but I guess it also ties in with like the merch, doing the shows.
That's a lot of it, right? You got to have the merch to sell to make the money. Physical copies of your CD maybe, or if you want to go vinyl or something like that, that there's quite a bit of cost in all that. So I think because we're not playing out, we're not having to deal with that right now. But it'll come, once we start playing live, we're going to want to have that stuff out to make a little cash off of.
Actually, the way you kind of put it there was almost like the Field of Dreams moment. It's almost like if we build it, they will come.
If we build it, they will come. I feel that too. I feel like if we start playing live, I feel like the fan base would grow immensely. I really do, because right now we're just a recording band, so we can't go out and show everybody. Not everybody's on Facebook. Not everybody's like following that, but there's a lot of people that will go to local live shows. So I think that's where you build your following.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna say if you build it, the freaks will come. So,
I love that. I'm gonna steal that, Brian.
Go ahead. Just make sure you put that down.
I'll give you credit, man.
Yeah, actually, I didn't ask that. How would you describe like the genre of music? I know it's probably the hard topic to kind of get onto, but I guess how would you describe your genre?
Oh, for us, definitely hard rock based. Everything we do is hard rock based. I think I put it out there like we're hard rock with a twist of metal, depending on what we're writing. But it is a throwback sound. If you like, if you like the older style, 80s type bands, you'll hear us in that. We always get compared. A lot of people have been saying Alice Cooper, which is kind of neat. I always loved Alice Cooper, with a little bit of Rat. So yeah, I mean that we have a throwback sound, and there's no denying that. And it doesn't bother me whatsoever. But I feel like I've heard people say too that like it's really neat you guys are doing that, but you can modernize it too. You throw in a modern spin to it. So I throwback hard rock with a twist of metal. Freaky things.
Actually, I know the 80s. Actually, that was more the birthplace or maybe the birth years of like thrash metal too. So I was thinking like, that was like 83 and then onwards when Slayer, Metallica, Megadeth, and all those guys started coming out. Instead of like loud, now we're going fast.
Yeah. Well, now we'll go like on our next one, the Magic Songs Volume 2. We're going heavier. We always go heavier, definitely heavier, and more experimental. So there's going to be some. We've already got 3 songs in the can. We're working on the last 2, and it's weird. Maybe a little bit too weird for normal people. I'll just say that. But it gets heavier. We still have that sound to us. I mean, we still have that throwback. You can hear it, but it is definitely heavier. There's some heavier stuff I'm doing in it vocally at certain points in the song.
It's not weird. It's freaky.
Yeah, there you go.
We can keep going all day. We got a book coming out.
We can make up stuff all day. I'm writing all this down.
That's for sure. All right. Now, this one wasn't actually part of the questions too, but it's one I've been kind of bringing up in a couple of my interviews recently. It's more about AI these days because recently on the radio, the heavy metal band Deicide out of Florida, who's been around like since like the late 80s, and they've been kind of going strong ever since. They've been kind of using AI for like their album art. So I guess, so what's your opinion of AI?
So, the first Magic Songs was AI generated, but after we did that, we regretted it. The reason why we regretted it was the Chucky is a professional photographer. We got that on our side. I mean, we can do anything we want professionally, on our own. And, even video related too. I think, that Rise of the Outlaws, that very first release was an AI AI generated video we did for that, like a lyric video. I think after we did it, we were like, man, let's not do that again. We can do something better. I mean, just we'll figure it out. So, since then, everything that we've done is his photography, which I absolutely love. I mean, some of the album covers that we've done. I mean, he's done that with models and all that, like professional models. I just love them. I mean, they came out great. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at on that. I think if you have that, there's so many like awesome people in the community that'll help you out too. Build an album cover, Mama's Made in Studio, doing videos, doing artwork. There's people that'll do it out there for you. So I feel like we want to stay away from it. But I don't mind people doing it. That's their own thing. Use the technology. But in our case, we have a professional on staff, so we're going to use that.
We got one just right over the river.
Yeah,
in Nashville, so, yeah.
Kind of know him.
Yep, close friend of mine too. So
yeah,
and the way it kind of some people describe it, I think it was in a couple of recent interviews, was it was really like a double-edged sword. It also kind of goes back with social media too, but. So what it was good for like people who were like real small artists or like solo artists, or as I like to call it, either basement or in-house musicians. Yeah. Because basically, first off, you got to work an actual job as well in order to pay your bills. So you really can't spend like too much to say like, hey, here's an artist who may want maybe do a couple hundred. I don't know how much they charge. Because I know I interviewed Mama's Made in Studio, Kimberly Lloyd.
Yeah.
Nice girl. She was real nice.
She's awesome.
She was, yeah. And it gets tough because people, I think, don't want to spend too much of the money too, and maybe even these big guys too, like what I was mentioning earlier with Deicide. You don't know if they're like loaded, for instance.
Yeah.
So maybe they don't have like the thousands.
Pretty sure they're probably not, and especially people that are all on our level. They don't have a lot of money. I mean, we're musicians, right? We spend all of our money on gear. We were talking earlier, merchandise and all that. We don't have a lot of money. So I get it if people do it. I don't have a problem with it. Just for us, I think luckily we have Chuck to do that. So I think we're going to definitely stick to that route for us.
Was he the one who did the picture with you and him behind you there, or the background?
Yeah. I flew to Nashville. I was there for a conference and I stayed with him over the weekend. Right after that, and we went out. That was a year ago. That was when we were launching Freaky Things, and we took that picture there.
That was a nice job. I'm giving that too. I was going to say, what models has he worked with, I guess?
I don't know the names off the top of my head, but our last three albums, I think. 3 album covers, a couple were singles, and then, but those were, professional models that he worked with, that he took shots with, and they, luckily said, "Oh yeah, you use our stuff." That's great that you guys are using that.
That's some good work there too. So
appreciate
get with the good work there, Chucky.
Yeah.
Okay. So Joe, we appreciate the questions here. Pretty good. I guess let's go ahead and jump to some fun ones. Ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So start with the first one right here. So I was like following a little script here too, but everyone's
that's all right.
Sometimes everyone's food kind of varies a little bit here too, as well as taste and everything else. But let's start with the first one here. What would you say is your favorite food?
Oh man, let's see. It would my go-to. I love pizza. I'll eat any kind of pizza. Doesn't matter what kind of pizza it is, I'll eat it. I'm in Kansas City, so barbecue's king here. I love barbecue also. We have arguments in Kansas City about who's, the best barbecue place. And steak and seafood. Those are my big ones.
Everybody's secretly Italian at most there too, because I think everybody's mentioned like some sort of pizza and some sort of way.
I love pizza. Yeah, pizza's always great. Doesn't matter what you can. Pizza's for breakfast, pizza for lunch, pizza for dinner,
pizza for dessert. Time.
Yeah,
let's go all day, every day.
Right, every day.
Actually, what Which brand of pizza do you like? Do you like the Pizza Hut's, Domino's? In my neck of the woods, we got Pasquale's, which has always been very good.
I'm not opposed to frozen pizza. I'm a DiGiorno's like frozen pizza guy. I love that. But if I'm going local, like if I'm going like from a chain, you ever heard of Minsky's? Minsky's may be central or more local. That's a great pizza from here. So yeah, everybody loves Minsky's around here.
I think a real big chain. I don't know if it's nationwide, but I know one that we have an article which is Calente's.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
There's that one, and then one actually. There was a kid that went to my school. His name was Minio, and his father actually owned a couple of pizza stores.
Oh, really?
You know what the sad thing was? I never actually had one from his place.
Oh, that's a bummer. I was going to say, yeah, you had a good friend there.
He was a cool guy. Yeah. Also, he just fucked around doing all this sort of stuff too.
Right.
So, actually, I think I got to try out the place because I think it's down like a little hill. It's like kind of at the bottom of this one hill, for instance. So I have to get out there one of these days, see if he's still maybe even working there. He's become the boss.
There you go. Probably the owner now.
Probably, but we'll see. I'll have to see.
Yeah.
So to be continued.
Yeah.
For the next question right here, I guess. So what would you say is your favorite movie?
And I honestly don't watch a lot of TV. And I don't watch a lot of movies. But I would probably go way, way back. The Exorcist was one of my favorite movies. And scared the shit out of me too. I mean, I didn't sleep for days after that. I think my parents took me to a drive-in to see that too. Which is the worst because you're out in the middle of, it's dark. You're out in the middle of nowhere at a drive-in watching some girl's head turn, spin around. Wasn't good.
That peeking all over the place too.
Yeah, horror movies. I can watch any horror movie too. So like if it's even a B flick, me and my wife used to watch those all the time. Like just Friday night B flick type of movie. Even C flick. They're pretty bad, but funny.
There actually is a C flick. I always thought they just stopped after B. It's like C, like just random violence just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Whatever next. Actually, that was actually my mom's first horror movie that she saw too. Needless to say, it scared the living crap out of her.
Ooh.
I don't think she was the same ever since afterwards. She's doing fine though. But
right.
It was like that movie was not very good.
It was scary for a lot of kids for sure.
Actually, I think I always get
bad parenting. They took me to that.
There's that too. Yeah, it was like you traumatized your kid.
Right.
Actually, I always thought it was funny when they're like doing the voice, be like, "Your mother's gonna suck cocks in the afterworld." So,
yeah, it's like freaked me out.
Yeah, I know. Actually, what do you make of what did they do? Like a sequel? Was there one they actually did? It was still based off The Exorcist.
Yeah, I don't even know if I probably watched it, but I don't think it was nearly as good as, of course. Another one was The Omen, the whole Omen series. That was trippy. Remember that one?
I think it was more so the recent one they were doing. What was it? The first Omen, or was it?
Oh, well, yeah, where they're remaking everything too, which I don't really care for. There's a few good remakes of the older stuff, but most of them fall flat for me.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's best just leave the original as it is.
Yeah.
Pretty much, we don't need to go any further with doing remakes.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I read a post the other day. I think someone, was it the Coen brothers? I'm not too sure. It was one of those directors, but they were brothers, and I think they wanted to actually do like either a Star Wars remake or do something based off the Star Wars universe or something.
Oh my God, they can't remake Star Wars. That would be, people would go nuts.
No, you got to stick with the original. Just let's keep it right there. Maybe we can celebrate.
Hell, people went insane when they released when they went on. When they did the last couple 3 or something like that. People lost their minds. Star Wars fans, which I thought were good. I thought they were good movies. So I don't know.
I just felt like it was a little strange, to be honest, too. I mean, if it was like how it starts off, then maybe okay, that's fine. But whatever. But I don't know. I didn't really care much for it anyway, but I mean, hey, it's still got $1 billion for each one, so it's
yeah,
like, what's your point?
Yeah, they did all right.
Clearly. But I digress. So for the next one right here, first off, do you and Chucky both drink alcohol?
Chucky does not drink. I drink a lot.
So you make up for it, basically.
Yeah, I have to take his share.
Actually, at the same time, I always like to ask too, because I did have some people who were originally alcoholics, so it's always good to ask.
No, I love beer. I'm not a big hard liquor guy. I'm a sit around the pool, drink a few beers kind of guy.
That's just almost like the Bruce Springsteen glory days. Be like, sometimes I stop by, have a few drinks. So, yeah.
All right.
But the question was,
it's kind of funny. Chucky's never been into alcohol whatsoever. He's always been a straight-laced dude.
Straight edge, I think that's the term they give it. So
yeah, straight edge, right?
So yeah, that's good. But what would you say is your favorite alcoholic drink and non-alcoholic drink?
I'm a Miller Lite guy. So Miller Lite tastes great, less filling. Yeah, filling, not filling. Yeah, what? And non-alcoholic drink. So I cut out like pop, Coke, all that, like 5 years ago. Haven't had a sip of that since. Gave that up. So probably drink a lot of water. Sweet tea. Sweet tea would be my go-to if I don't have water.
Actually, I think my guilty pleasure these days is one of these ones.
Yeah, those are good.
I don't know. They must lace it with cocaine or something too, because man, it's addicting just to.
Yeah, there's something in that.
I mean, there's something too, because I want to reach for a second one too, and I tried one last week, and fortunately, I think the top lid had probably pressurized or something too, because it was kind of sticking up, because I think it was close to where the fan was.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it tasted all watery. So.
Yeah, so every year I go through a thing, I try to give up something, something that's probably not good for me. One year I was like, I'm going to cut out Cokes, Dr. Pepper. I'm going to cut out all that sweet crap, and I never looked back after that. I just totally do not drink any of that kind of stuff anymore.
I'll say there's such a thing as Lent, that happens on Ash Wednesday and then goes to Easter, So
yeah, right.
It's always Lent for him. So
yeah.
All right, it's fair enough too. But good choices.
Yeah.
Good to see you keep yourself healthy. So, and for the last fun questions here, Joe, I guess. So, what would you consider is currently your favorite song, or a song you've been listening to a good bit recently?
Oh, I can tell you for the last year, I have not listened to regular radio. It's all been indie community music. So haven't even listened to, I don't even know what's playing out there. It's all indie community. So I'll name a couple artists I know. I absolutely love Bobby Kane's music. I don't know if you know Bobby Kane, but he has great music. Shannon Darcy, Drunk and Lonely. They have a bunch of great music. There's just so many. Everybody's on these Spotify playlists, there's all, and that's kind of what I listen to. I'll pop one of those on and just listen to, all the independent music. Doesn't matter what kind of genre. I just love it all. Take it all in. You hear some great shit, like compared to what's out there now. It's amazing what people can do. Not in a gigantic recording studio and all that. So yeah, stick to my community friends. I'll put it there.
We stick to our guns. So, yeah,
that's right.
You know what? It's funny you bring that up too, because I think a lot of some of the what you consider the professional bands or ones who've been around a good while, they're kind of decry this age how everybody's a wannabe sort of rock king, for instance, or rock star or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit sad, but I mean, you are right. There are a whole lot of great musicians. That's why I would like to bring them on here and share their stories and everything too. Like Joe from Freaky Things.
Thank you.
Yep, that's for sure. All right. But Joe, we've kind of down to one more question right here. So I guess before we jump into it, did you have any questions for me or any final words you want to say before we jump into it?
No, I think the big thing I wanted to say is thanks to everyone that like listens to our music and has kind of been like super cool to us, ever since we came in. I feel like a regular now, so I probably shouldn't say that, but it's great that we are a big community. I think everybody sticks up for each other. And all you guys that do what you do too. It's amazing. You guys put a lot of time into for sure in your craft. So I want to give you guys a big salute. I've done a couple of interviews this past week, and the time you guys put in is amazing, and we all thank you.
We salute you.
Salute you.
Yeah, there we go. Fire. A little AC/DC style there.
Yeah.
But no worries. Thanks so much for the shout out there too, mate.
Yeah.
Right. But for a final question right here, you might have harped on it a little bit here too, but here's how it goes. So given what COVID has done, obviously it seems like you've been pretty blessed. Same with Chucky as well there too. Looks like everyone's been doing well there. So, and it seemed like it was kind of a blessing in disguise, the kind of way you put it too. But for those musicians and people who have been impacted by COVID or whatever else in their lives, what's their message of hope could you give to musicians and people out there as we try to move forward in a post-COVID world?
Well, I think the big thing is that since we're not in COVID anymore, it's good if you're struggling with mental illness or loneliness, whatever the case may be, to always reach out, to somebody. Don't ever go down that rabbit hole. Don't go too deep in the darkness. Make sure you're communicating with people. Tell them what's up. My family, has really been impacted in the mental illness part of, I lost a daughter to suicide. So that's a big thing in my world, that people need to talk and get help when needed. So I do want to make sure I say that. I did not want to end on a note like that many years ago, but I've done a lot of work in that area in my city, which I'm very proud of, to get the word out. So I did not want to end on that note, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah, I can understand. I'm very sorry to hear that too. And,
Thank you.
There was actually an interview I did a while back. There was a guy who had lost his son to suicide as well there too. So
yeah,
he's doing well. He's actually a drummer, and he's North Carolina. Still keeps strong with his faith and everything.
Yeah.
And he helps put drums together too, make some killer
That's
stuff.
the big thing, man. We got to keep moving, keep on keeping on.
That's for sure too. Thank you so much for sharing there too. And as I always like to say, spoken like a true prodigy.
All right.
So, Joe, we've reached the end of my podcast right here, and we're just a little bit shy of an hour and 10 minutes. Oh, I think editing-wise might be a little shorter, but whatever. I guess, do you have any final words, any shout-outs you want to give before we close?
No, man, I just want to thank you for having us on. Look out for Magic Songs Volume 2. Probably be another month before we get that sucker out. Hopefully, if we can get those last 2 songs done, me and Chucky don't get in a big fight about it, we'll be good. So watch out for that, and that's about everything. I think we covered everything.
And we can't forget this. Shout out to all the freaks out there who've been supporting this.
Shout out to the freaks.
Yep.
The freaks.
Also, don't get any fights. Don't get any fights with Chucky. We got to keep the brotherly love going. So
right.
keep it strong and everything there too.
Yeah.
So, and just for the audience's sake, can you just list again what social media and streaming platforms you're on so they can check out your music?
Yeah, we're pretty much every streaming platform. And then you can find us at Freaky Things Music is all of our handles out there. freakythingsmusic.com website. It'll take you to everything.
All right, sounds good. You heard from this guy right here. So, everyone, my guest today was Joe, hailing from Kansas City. So, first off, go Chiefs, and good luck next year. I would say,
go Steelers.
And that too. Actually, funny enough, I was thinking to myself, if these guys seriously win a Super Bowl, especially when they would consider like this like a shitty year,
yeah,
they're still going to win this fucking Super Bowl. So.
I'm telling you, man, I didn't think it was going to happen, but it did. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's for sure, too. Regardless, though, Kansas City fan here, right here. Make sure you guys go hit him up. He's from Freaky Things. Make sure you go hit him up on the socials. Go check him out on the streaming platforms. Let's go help our brothers out right there, too. So.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
All right. No worries. And Joe, you tell Chucky I said hi, and you all stay safe. Rock on, and God bless. Stay tuned, y'all.